Before you give up, pause. What if the breakthrough you've been praying for is just one step away? What if everything you're facing right now is not the end, but the turning point God designed for your elevation? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes you'll discover why your struggle is not a sign to quit. It's a sign that God is about to move in your life. When life becomes overwhelming and everything seems to fall apart at once, it's easy to assume that you've reached the end of your strength. But in reality, these moments of deep struggle are often the very moments that prepare you for a major breakthrough. Hardship is not a sign of failure or abandonment. It is a sign that you are being reshaped, redirected, and strengthened. Billy Graham often reminded people that God does his greatest work in the darkest seasons of our lives. What feels like a breaking point is often a turning point, the moment where your faith stops being theoretical and becomes real, powerful, and unshakable. Think of every great story. Transformation never happens on the mountaintop. It happens in the valley. It happens when you feel alone, lost, or unseen. But that is exactly where God is closest to you. Your tears, your worries, your setbacks, they are not wasted. They are building the strength and wisdom you will need for the next chapter of your life. So don't quit now. You are closer to your breakthrough than you realize. Your current struggle might be the very doorway through which God brings you into your destiny. Hold on. A new beginning is forming right in the middle of your hardship. When you go through struggles, it's natural to ask, why is this happening to me? But what if the very challenges you're facing are the tools God is using to strengthen you? Faith that has never been tested remains fragile and shallow. It's in the storms, not the sunshine, that your roots grow deeper. God allows certain difficulties not to break you, but to build a foundation within you that nothing in this world can shake. Billy Graham often emphasized that struggles are God's way of refining his people. Just as fire purifies gold, hardships purify the heart. They strip away pride, fear, and doubt, leaving behind a stronger, more resilient faith. When you walk through trials and still choose to trust God, your faith becomes unbreakable, because it is no longer based on feelings but conviction. Every struggle trains you for something greater. Every unanswered prayer shapes your patience. Every season of waiting strengthens your character. Every tear teaches you compassion. And every setback becomes a setup for spiritual maturity. So instead of seeing your struggle as punishment, see it as preparation. God is building something powerful within you. Endurance, wisdom, perspective, and confidence in his plan. What you're facing today is shaping the person God needs you to become tomorrow. Keep trusting. Your faith is growing stronger with every step. There are moments in life when you feel like your prayers are going unanswered, as if heaven is silent. But silence is not absence, and delay is not denial. Persistence in prayer is one of the greatest signs of true faith, because it shows that you believe God is listening even when you cannot see the result yet. Billy Graham often reminded people that God moves powerfully in response to sincere, consistent prayer. When you keep praying, you're not just repeating words. You're knocking on the door of mercy with unwavering trust. Every time you raise your hands, every time you whisper a prayer in the dark, every time you turn to God instead of giving up, you open the pathway for divine intervention. Prayer softens the heart, strengthens the soul, and invites God's presence into your situation. And sometimes the breakthrough doesn't come because of one big prayer, but because of 1,000 small ones whispered with faith. Persistent prayer is a sign that you are relying on God, not yourself. It's an act of surrender, humility, and hope. And God responds to those who keep calling upon him, even when the answer seems far away. Something is happening behind the scenes. Doors are shifting, hearts are changing, paths are being cleared. So don't stop praying. Your persistence may be the final push before your miracle unfolds. In every journey toward growth, success, or spiritual elevation, there comes a point where giving up feels easier than holding on. The obstacles seem too heavy, the delays too long, and the progress too slow. But the truth is this: most breakthroughs happen right after the moment when quitting seems most tempting. Billy Graham often emphasized that perseverance is not just a personality trait, it is a spiritual discipline, a sign of trust that God is still working even when you cannot see the results. Breakthroughs are rarely instant. They're the result of consistency, patience, resilience, and a heart that refuses to surrender. Every time you choose to keep going, you're proving that your faith is stronger than your fear. You're telling God, I trust your timing even when I don't understand your plan. And God honors that kind of endurance. Many people stop just steps before success. They let exhaustion, disappointment, or doubt convince them that there's nothing ahead. But the ones who push through, the ones who keep believing, keep trying, keep praying, are the ones who witness doors open and paths brighten. Your breakthrough might not come today, but it could come tomorrow. And when it does, you'll look back and realize that every moment you refused to quit brought you closer to it. Stay steady, keep moving. Your perseverance is paving the way to something extraordinary. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning to wait, especially when your heart is tired, your prayers feel repeated, and your situation seems unchanged. But waiting with God is never wasted time. His timing is not like ours. It is deliberate, precise, and filled with wisdom. Billy Graham often reminded believers that God sees the entire picture, while we only see a single moment. What feels like a delay to you may actually be divine protection, preparation, or redirection. When God makes you wait, He is not ignoring you. He is shaping you. He is strengthening your patience, deepening your reliance on Him, and aligning the circumstances around you in ways you cannot see. Sometimes the blessing needs more time to develop. Sometimes you need more time to grow into the person who can carry that blessing. Waiting with hope means trusting that God is never late. It means believing that He knows when to open doors, when to close them, and when to lead you to a completely different path. Hope keeps your heart alive while you wait, reminding you that your story is still unfolding under God's perfect plan. So hold on with expectation. The timing of God is never too early, never too late, always exactly right. And when the moment arrives, you'll understand why the wait was necessary. Waiting is one of the most challenging parts of faith. When you've prayed, tried, hoped, and still see no movement, it's easy to feel forgotten. But God's timing is never random. Every delay carries purpose. He sees what you cannot see, and He knows what you are not yet ready to handle. Billy Graham often reminded believers that God works on a timetable far greater than ours, and what feels slow to us is perfectly aligned in His divine plan. Sometimes God delays a blessing because the path ahead needs to be cleared. Sometimes He withholds something because He wants to give you something better. And sometimes He simply wants your heart to mature, your faith to deepen, and your patience to strengthen. Waiting is not inactivity, it is spiritual training. Hope is what keeps your heart steady during this process. Hope tells you that God has not abandoned you. Hope whispers that every moment of silence is filled with unseen movement. Hope reminds you that your story is still being written beautifully, purposefully, and with perfect timing. When God finally brings the answer, you will see how everything fits together. The doors you once wanted may no longer matter. The struggles you endured will make sense, and the blessing will arrive exactly when you need it. Never too early, never too late. So wait, not with frustration, but with hope. God is always on time.